Hi, I'm Mark Lawson with MorningStar Music Publishers, and today we get a chance to visit with composer Karen Marrolli. So Karen, welcome. Glad that you're here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little about where you live, a bit about your background, and what you're doing these days.
Well, I am currently the director of music at Central United Methodist Church in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have lived literally all over. It's really kind of crazy, but I'm, really love New Mexico, so I'm really happy to be out here right now. Basically, I started writing songs when I was like 12. So this is something that I've been into doing all of my life, singing in choirs since I was a kid. And I went to Westminster Choir College in New Jersey and ended up spending about 7 years there, and really got into like conducting and choral music and all of that kind of stuff. So, after that, did a lot of teaching and basically ended up in sacred music and really found that I loved working with community choirs and all of that kind of stuff. So, so that's how I ended up where I am.
Great, it's great. Well, you have two new pieces that have just come out, and one of the things that I think is unique about your writing is that many of the pieces that you write also include your own text. And so I think both of these pieces have your text with them. And why don't we talk about those for just a minute? The first is the Come Before the Table, and talk about that one a little bit, how that came to be.
Well, I really have a love for music from other cultures and world music. So I was kind of trying to experiment with that, with something that was a little bit more rhythmic and with a drum, and with the idea of World Communion Sunday. First of all, anytime there's a World Communion Sunday, I always try to pull in those different elements. Like we're all, no matter the culture, we're all joined as one. And so the text kind of comes from that idea, the communion imagery of come before the table and the universality of we all belong. Everyone come, no matter who you are, no matter what journey you're on, no matter where you're from, that we're all kind of one big community, one big family.
It's great. And I think that one we put into our Presbyterian Association of Musicians series. That's worked very well for that group. The other one is O Emmanuel, which is an Advent piece. And one of the things that you often do is add an instrument with what you do. So talk about how that piece came to be as well.
There were a couple of pieces that I was writing at the same time that I was wanting more texts that were appropriate to a longest night kind of a service. And it's funny, I was really kind of set on doing that because I had to do a couple of longest night services and there wasn't enough that quite got at what we were trying to do. And since I've talked to people and they don't understand what that is, so the idea is that it's on generally around the solstice in December. Sometimes people call it a Blue Christmas service, where we acknowledge that even though the world is celebratory at that time, that maybe things just aren't right. And I imagine this year we might be having a lot of those types of services. But some people have lost a job, or they've lost a loved one. It's the first Christmas without, their spouse or whatnot. So Long Expected Dawn was one of those types of pieces. And then this was another one, writing about, this idea that we are also at this time of year, at Advent time of year, looking for healing. And it really struck me when I heard the recording come out recently that, wow, this is sort of appropriate to right now. Which was really weird, but I've always loved Star of the East, and the additional instrument aspect of it. I also love Celtic music, so it gives it that kind of fiddle flavor.
I think that one of the things about that kind of piece is, like you said, you think of it as a seasonal piece in a way, and then all of a sudden something happens and you're thinking, oh, it's really not that seasonal. It's much broader than that. So.
Yeah, it's neat when pieces work out that way, that they can have a wider use. Once they're out there, they can be anything.
That's great. Well, thanks for taking a few moments just to talk about this with us, and we really look forward to seeing more from you in the future.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks. It was great to see you.